Hi, you're in Strangeware, and today I'm shooting with my phone. Alright now, don't get me wrong, I love high-end PCs as much as the next guy. There's however something really beautiful about older hardware. This is my Lenovo ThinkPad X200 tablet. So you can actually turn this thing around and have it as a tablet configuration, and it also has a stylus so you can write on it. And I've been using this for, well, pretty much my whole master's degree studies, but eventually the battery worn out and I had to get a replacement. The thing is, if you want to get a brand new Lenovo battery, it's just way too expensive. It would cost me as much as this whole laptop costs. So I went for a cheap Chinese brand battery, and it does have its drawbacks. The battery works as long as it's charged. There's however one small problem with batteries like this, and I've come across this on multiple forums on the internet. The thing is, if you discharge the battery past some threshold, you can't actually charge it back again. It's due to the internal circuitry, and what actually happens is you exhaust one of the cells in the battery beyond the limit, and the circuitry just cuts the charging off because there's like a risk of fire or something. Stupid people. However, today I'm gonna show you how to fix this, so you don't have to shell out another 30 bucks for a new battery, and you can repair the one you have. So let's get to it. Alright, so I'm gonna be shooting this handheld, I guess. You can see this is where the battery goes, and I actually do have a battery somewhere, like an old one, but I'm too lazy to actually go looking for that. And here we go, here's the battery I replaced the original with. This is like cheap Chinese off-brand battery, and the lighter's not included. Here inside you can actually see the individual cells and the charging circuitry, and I've made a small gizmo for measuring the voltage on the individual cells, so this will be difficult to do. I guess I'll have to hold this in my teeth. Just a sec. Alright, the phone is now actually hanging on my t-shirt on one of those little octopus tripods. So I have the voltage measurement here. If I try to measure this cell, you can see it's showing me 3.5 volts, which is fine. If I do this for every other cell, it's showing basically the same value. There is, however, a cell down here that when I try to measure, it shows me, oh, it's not easy to do with one hand, 1.5 volts. It's negative because I have a reversed polarity of the probes in my hand, but it's 1.5 volts. That's actually the one and only cell we need to fix, and if you look close, it's this one. Alright, so I've placed this lighter here just as a spacer, and I actually need to get a probe down to that cell, and I need to attach it somewhere. And I've come up with a simple method involving small neodymium magnets. I just take this magnet on tip of my screwdriver, I gently place it down there, it's not easy. I mean, the way it is now should be just fine. I just really want it to be on that contact plate. Oh fuck. Oh, there we go. So if you can't really do this with force, you need to apply more force. Okay, and now if I take one of my probes, now I have to get the polarity correct. So this is the negative one. Yeah, it actually sticks to that, and I have a conductive connection. Alright, now the other side. And this one is actually much easier because I have full access here. So yeah, that's on there. Good. Okay, and I've had a little mishap here because I think I actually had sort of short somewhere, but it doesn't matter. I've actually, in like 10 seconds, I managed to increase the voltage by 1 volt on the battery. Ideally, I would go with a lower voltage and some current limitation. The thing is, when I actually plug rest of this contraption in the USB port, which supplies 5 volts as opposed to 3.7 that I need, I get a bit of warning messages on my PC. Alright, I think we're good here now. Nothing's burning so far, and we have 3 volts showing here. Actually, before I got several of those pop-ups in the bottom right corner warning me that device needs more power than the port can supply. So I just hope we're good here. Good sign is I can't really hear anything squeaking or creaking. So yeah, we're just going up on the voltage. So let's disconnect this. We're on 3.9897 volts. It's not much. We should go to like 3.4. So we're gonna leave it charging for a little bit longer. Then I'll go and check all the cells again, just to make sure there's no more defective ones. The first time I did this, I actually did a small recharge of all the cells, one by one, and this one was the last one I tried and the last one I charged, and I was surprised there's only like 1.5 volts. Yeah, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cells in total, so it's a bit tricky to actually get a connection into the rear ones, you know, between them. And last time I did this with really thin wires. This time I'll have to improvise something else. 337, but remember, this is the charging voltage. Again, when I unplug this from the USB, it's showing 315, 314. I'll leave this running for 2 more minutes, and then I'll get back to you. Meanwhile, while the cell is charging, let me actually tell you what not to do to not end up like this. You know, this battery is just fine when you use it as it's intended to be used. The thing is, it can only really go this bad when you drain it out completely. So if you have a running operating system there, it usually, you know, turns off the battery when it's like turns the system off when the battery is like 5%. What I did, I had like 15% battery remaining, and I put the system to sleep. Now this was on Windows system, so this was a Linux system, and I might have messed up some of the settings, but still, the thing is, I let this asleep for like 2 weeks with 15% of battery. When I came back to it, the battery was dead, exhausted, so that's how this happens. If I was to, just use the laptop till it shuts down, it probably wouldn't exhaust it past the point of no return. You will. The thing is, the PC still sees the battery. If it's inserted in there, it still sees the battery. It's just charging, and it's holding at 0%. Now there's batteries that actually increase very slowly, so you have to leave it charging for like 3 days to slowly build up the charge to reduce the risk of a fire. And I've actually tried that. I left my laptop sitting on the charger for I think a week, and it didn't increase by a single %, so I resorted to this. So if you have a 0% charging and not going anywhere, chances are you actually killed one of the cells in your battery. You might as well have 0% not charging, and then it's usually a slight problem. Alright, so let me take camera back. And if we look at the charger now, it's showing 4 volts when charging. And if I disconnect this, we're staying at 340, 335, let's say. I think this should be fine. As long as it's over 3 volts, we should really be fine. So I'm gonna leave this running for 30 more seconds or a minute, let's say. There's really no danger. If there hasn't been fire yet when charging from like over this charge state, it should be pretty safe now. Now it's just regular charging of the cells. Alright, so I'll end the video here, or pause the video here rather. Finish the charging, assemble it back together, check of course all the remaining cells just to make sure, and I guess put it into the PC. Yeah, it's beautiful. You can see the professional looking red tape because I couldn't find black electrical tape. So it's just holding the battery together. Of course I could just glue that together, but I have a feeling I will need to open the battery again when someone's not careful. There's actually a chance I might be selling this computer, so yeah, I think might happen again. Alright, so now let's take the lead and connect it. Perfect, and yeah, so you can see the battery is charging. I'm gonna leave this for an hour or 2. Alright, so you can see the laptop is running just fine. You can see the BIOS here, of course, the main point here. Yeah, the battery is no longer orange, so it's not in critical values and it should be charging. So let's try what happens. Perfect, we actually did manage to fix the battery. Yay! This video was a little bit different from the other ones, but to be honest, it actually kind of suits me to do everything improvised like this, and I get to work with all the wires. And oh, that's pretty much all I wanted to tell and show you. Now there was one more thing. If you browse the internet when you have this problem with your laptop or its battery, pretty much every discussion board I come across, it says, yeah, just discard it and get a new one. There was this one post that said you could try opening it up and recharging individual cells, and turns out it actually works. So if you have an old laptop like this lying around, don't get me wrong, you can save every battery like this. The batteries actually degrade over time, the run time of your laptop will decrease, but if it just goes to 0 suddenly, something's not right. And that's pretty much it for this video. So like it if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it, tell me what I did wrong, or how I'm going to get electrocuted next time I make a video. Bye!